home.
Merry Christmas, Dawn.
Merry Christmas, Mother.
How was school?
Oh, fine, fine.
How could you say school was fine? The principal called. How could you on Christmas Eve day?
What did you call about? I didn't do nothing.
You most certainly did, young lady, and you're going to be severely punished. You've been expelled from the Baltimore County public school system.
I'd like to know for what?
You smoked cigarettes on the bus.
Who told you that? That drunken school bus driver? Why, Mother, I'd like to tell you that he was so drunk driving that bus, we almost had an accident this morning.
Now, Dawn, you know that's not true. You hooked classes plus beat up a girl. I never thought I would see a daughter of mine involved in fighting.
You've turned our silent night into a hellious night, Dawn. Don't you care about Mommy and Daddy? Don't you care about all of the heartache you're causing us?
I didn't touch that girl. She tried to steal my homework. The other girls beat her up.
We all know about the other girls, Dawn. We have forbidden you to see those delinquent girls, but you defy us. Any educator can tell you the appearance and behavior go hand in hand.
I've told you to flatten that hair. Who taught you to look like a tramp? It certainly wasn't anyone in this family. And you've got to lose some weight.
Leave me alone. I hate you and I hate this house.
All the love we've given you and you tell us you hate us? A fine thank you. You're going to put me in the hospital for nerve collapse.
You never believe me when I'm telling you the truth. Daddy, that girl's always bullying me and trying to cheat off me in class. I promise you I've never touched her even once. I swear to God.
Why the lying? Why the bold-faced lying, Dawn? You're grounded indefinitely. Please go to your room until tomorrow morning when we call you to open your presents.
Look,
The star of Pink Flamingos is here again. It's Divine. She's got balls, and she's got female trouble.
I'm a thief and a shit kicker, and I'd like to be famous.
Dawn Davenport is eating a meatball sandwich right out in class.
Here she is, Divine as Dawn Davenport, a feisty young high school girl.
My parents are going to be real sorry if I don't get them cha-cha heels.
Nice girls don't wear cha-cha heels.
Give me those stripes. Now neither wear those ugly shoes. I told you not to.
Yes, she had a lot of problems. And she found herself in big female trouble.
Well, I just wanted to tell you that I'm pregnant and I want money.
Just because you got them big udders don't mean you're something special.
It's hard being a loving mother. I give her free food, a bed, clean underpants. What does she expect?
Look in the mirror, Taffy. For 14, you don't look so good.
never have I encountered such a morally bankrupt group of people.
If they're smart, they're queer. And if they're stupid, they're straight.
Crime enhances one's beauty. The worse the crime gets, the more ravishing one becomes.
I'm going to chop off your scrawny little paw.
Watch as Divine performs the most perverse acts ever brought to the screen.
I blew Richard's back. And I'm so fucking beautiful I can't stand it myself. Shut up! Shut up!
You'll follow Divine's life of sex and crime from its tawdry beginning to its very end.
That is comfortable, too.
Share the tears and laughter with Divine, Edith Massey as Aunt Ida, and the Pink Flamingos Gang. A new high in low taste. John Waters' Female Trouble. She had a lot of problems. Coming soon from Saliva Films.
When Fellini asked Warhol what film he should see by an American filmmaker, Warhol told Fellini you should see Pink Flamingos. Why do you think he said that?
And that's sort of a hard question because I really don't know what Warhol's thinking. But I would imagine because of the freshness of the films, the uniqueness, which is, Fellini is very unique. And I think that maybe Warhol told him to see that because I'm sure he had never seen anything like it before.
What type of audiences do John's films attract?
Now that's sort of strange also. There is a definite Waters cult, I believe, in the last few years, since Pink Flamingos. There are people that will go because Waters is attached to it. There are people that will go just to see Divine because of Divine's cultishness. There are people who also will not go because Waters' name is connected with it. He's not exactly an overnight success. It's been a case of a lot of hard work, 10 years of hard work, 10 years of working with the same people, which is hard work in itself. John the person and John the director are sort of two different people, but basically the same. When you work for a person, I imagine in any field that is dedicated to their art or to whatever it is, and they work that hard, you sort of try to keep up the pace, I guess. You know, you want to be as good as they are. You want to be as helpful as they are. You know, you want to just try and do your best because you know that this person is doing his best and doing what he wants to do more than anything in the world.
Man, have you always done the makeup and costumes for Divine?
No. Worked on Pink Flamingos and Female Trouble. I've done our own, like, you know, personal drag, but just as far as the movies go, no, just the last two.
Have you done this before for films or theater? I mean,
Yeah.
makeup and costumes?
Yeah. A long time ago when I was in college in Florida, I was in the drama department and studied makeup there. Did work with some of the costumes, you know, didn't do the whole thing. Did some shows in California. Have done, you know, like her wardrobe, if you want to call it that, for a long time. And but only working on these, you know, two movies as far as John goes.
Do you do the costumes for Divine as well as the makeup?
Yeah, all of them.
Who creates the designs for the costumes and makeup?
Well, I design the costumes. The makeup, I do. I mean, John gives me an idea. He says, shave her head. He says, you know, I want, you know, this part here, or, you know, this sort of thing, which he takes from whatever he, you know, motivates him or, you know, inspires him. Then he tells me, and I sort of work it out for him. And if he likes it, he says yes, or it's supposed to be this way. He tells me that. But it's sort of, you know, we work a little bit together, and I just put it together for him.
So you have a certain amount of creative leeway, you know, to create
Yeah,
designs.
right, because John really is not always sure exactly. He has an idea, so I just sort of put it together for him. David Lochary, you know, helps on it sometimes. David's always been a lot of inspiration for me.
You design the costumes, right? You also make the costumes?
No, I can't sew at all. I have seamstresses that make the costumes.
Are the costumes and makeup in any way coordinated with the roles?
Yeah. Well, they are part of the role. I mean, you know, the persona there's, you know, she becomes part of the costume at times. John's very involved with the costuming in his movies. They're very important to him.
Is he more concerned now that the films are in color, do you think?
Yeah, sure. I would think.
What I mean by rhythm, sort of the way that one scene that has 50 takes will be broken up, and then I worry whether it can be put back together again. And I enjoy a show because you run right through the whole scene, and it has a rhythm and a dynamics of its own, which you lose while you're filming it. You have to maintain your level of concentration longer while you're filming, I think.
Because it's fragmented.
Yeah. You know, you do 6 takes and you have to be, you know, it's like repeating a sentence over and over. It's like repeating a sentence over and over. It's like repeating a sentence over and over. And then you get to the next sentence, and then it's hard to imagine the rhythm yourself.
Well, you've worked with other directors. How would you compare John with other directors, either film or theater?
Well, I haven't worked with that many other ones. John is totally different because, well, the only other director that I've worked with that writes his own material is a lot like John, but then he has, he's a stage director, doesn't do movies. And they both have different approaches to the content of their work. John's strongest point is his script, I think, or the scripts and the dialogue, and the particular style, I think, is his strongest point. With other directors, other things come into play. John doesn't worry so much about what you look like or which way you walk or body posture. Lots of things that the other directors do worry about.
Dave, do you enjoy being in John's films?
I enjoy being in them, but I don't enjoy making them so much. I love it once it's done. That's why I like movies better than I like plays, because I can never see a play that I'm in, or I can never see me in a play, but I kind of go back and see what I did that I liked in a movie and then change it. And I can't do that on the stage. And I don't like the work that's involved in making a movie. I enjoy it when it's happening, but all the preparation and the delays are no fun. But once it's finished, it's all gravy from there, sort of. I love it once it's done.
In other words, you don't really enjoy the day-to-day process of filmmaking?
Not the day-to-day process. I enjoy the takes. I enjoy the performing. I enjoy big scenes like the superstar scene. I enjoyed a lot because, I was feeling especially good that night myself, and it's really exciting to have something that you enjoy be a real part of your life when it isn't. You know, it's when the real things that are happening around your life are so complex and so well lit, you can absorb more in it in that time, and I like that.
A lot of things came about through my burlesque act. And then, of course, streaking Hollywood and Vine at high noon, well, that came about through the burlesque thing, too. And they're still writing about it 20 years later. But what happened was that I was opening in this nude show, and that very next day, and they gave a big party in my honor. And they had a big banner that said, "The striking Liz Renay." Well, someone crossed out striking and made it streaking. And since all the press were there, they said, "Well, are you really going to streak?" And I said, "Well, if I ever do, it'll be Hollywood and Vine at high noon." And that was just a silly statement I made, never dreaming I would actually have to carry it out. I really didn't want to streak Hollywood and Vine after I got on the spot, because that was a big champagne party, and after I left that party I went to another one given by big movie star Zimmerlis, and I was drinking champagne until 3 in the morning and went home, and when my phone rang at 6 and I was half asleep and half smashed, and somebody said, "Are you really going to streak Hollywood and Vine at high noon?" I didn't even know I was on the air. I really thought it was, they must have told me I was, but it didn't register. I thought it was somebody from the party. And so I said, "You're damn right, I'll be there with bells on. Sure, I'm going to streak Hollywood and Vine at high noon," and I went back to sleep. But in the meantime, every radio station, TV station, everybody picked up on it. They called the theater. Well, the next thing I know, the theater's calling me, and they said, "Listen, you said you're going to do it, so you have to do it. We'll have egg on our face as well as you if you don't do it." And they said, "You just have to run a little ways. We'll have a theater car there to pick you up, and we'll have a robe to throw around you." A see-through lace robe that I had in my dressing room. And they said, "You know, it'll just be over before you know it. You got to do it. You got yourself in this spot. You got to go through with it." I said, "No way," but I finally got talked into it. And I went, and because they told me that probably 200 or 300 people would show up. Well, 5,000 people showed up. And it blocked traffic for 5 blocks, and oh my God, people were leaning out of windows and climbing light posts. It was a fantastic affair. And even little old ladies were cheering me on and saying, "Atta girl, do your stuff, honey." And everybody, it was like a sports event. I had all these people, every newsreel that you could possibly shake a stick at was there. Even foreign press was there. And so the car that was supposed to pick me up had become just a pile of people. It was like a cattle stampede. They couldn't go anywhere. They were trapped among hundreds and thousands of people and all over the car. So I just had to run for my life to keep from getting trampled. I was running and running for what seemed like forever before the crowd had moved off of that car, and it could come around and cut around another block, you know, and catch up with me. My God, I was almost to the theater where I was going to appear. So they just took me straight there, and they only allowed the press in there, but there are about 60 or 70 of those. And I just did an interview that was for all of them, asking questions, like a question and answer session in my see-through robe they finally threw around me. And of course, the theater was packed that night. They turned away 500 people after they filled all the aisles and everywhere. They would hang them on nails if they could find any. There were just too many people to know what to do with. And of course, the booking was a smash.
Cookie, she used to come to my house and see all the books I read and the movies I saw, and she said, "Oh, I've got to introduce you to my friend John. You have the same interests." And so when I was introduced to him one summer, there was a murder in Provincetown, and there was a woman out on the dunes that had her hands cut off and her face bashed in. It was the story that Norman Mailer used for Tough Guys Don't Dance. Basically, he sort of riffed on that. But it was a real mystery, and no one knew who the girl was or anything. And John somehow got it into his craw that I was the killer. He had just met me. And so through that whole summer, he would bug me and say, "I'll pay you $25, just show me the hands. I'll just let me see the hands. I know you did it." And I would go, "No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it." And that's sort of how we got to be friends. But we did sort of share the same kind of interest in that, you know, abnormal behavior and all those kind of stories. There was a famous murder, Tony Costa, who was a local Portuguese, and he took too much LSD and used to sell pot, and he killed a bunch of girls that were, you know, coming through town, like sort of hitchhikers, and buried them out in his garden, his pot garden, and they found him. It was a big court case. It was quite a big scandal for Provincetown. But the book came out in his garden, and John and I were obsessed with that book because it told where the garden was. So we took a little field trip one day, and we went down to Truro. It was with Chuck, Michael Gentile, Linda, Tom Rand, and we brought like a little shovel and a little toy shovel, and we went out and went through the woods to find out where he had buried the girls. And the police sort of found us and sort of kicked us out. But it was really a fun, ghoulish little field trip. I remember that quite vividly. It was one of my favorite memories of the 70s. With John going to all those crimes of being obsessed with those kind of cases, I think he saw it right early on about the idea that there was this kind of celebrityism about being a criminal. And Female Trouble was so way ahead of the game with that whole idea of, like, you know, being famous for crime and going to the electric chair for an Academy Award. I mean, that's now in all these other movies, but it really was where he was heading when he was seeing those criminal trials. I think he saw the idea of that there was a certain, you know, glamour in being a criminal at the trials. And there is. When you go to a trial, you see that. There's it's like a movie. There's villains, there's theater there going on, there's great drama. It's exciting, and the person on trial is a star. So, I think that was from John's personal experience with that. The thing about John is that he was always having to, he was really smart about how he saw, all right, look, I can't do this kind of movie anymore. I've done it. I have to move on. And he would try to find something new and throw himself into it. And everybody did the movie that he came up with, but it had nothing to do with an era or anything. It was just his obsession at the time. And it was just something new that he was fascinated in or interested in or thought that he hadn't explored as a movie or hadn't done a movie like a PG movie or a movie about this or a musical or something that he hadn't done. I think it was just to challenge himself and then sort of get a lunatic element to it. I mean, take a kind of genre and then have John do that. But I don't think it had anything to do with the times. It had everything that came, it just came from within his head.
Edie was really, really a sweet person. I mean, she personally answered all the fan mail she got. Not only that, but you were on her Christmas card list at that point, and you would get Christmas cards from Edie and Tiger, her cat, and any other cats that she was living with that time. Edie was the barmaid at Pete's Hotel, and Edie was quite something. She had a background as a stripper in San Francisco, and she ended up, God only knows how, attending bar at this wino joint, Pete's Hotel, which was actually a hotel at one point, on the docks in Baltimore. And she was just, her look was fantastic. I mean, she had maybe 3 teeth left, and they were all going in different directions. And she really took care of us. I mean, we got free drinks, and she was sort of our den mother. And John spotted the talent right away. Not the talent as much in acting as in her looks, because as an actress, she was terrible. In Desperate Living, I remember Edie was sitting on her throne with her legs dangling. It's Queen Carlotta. And the line that she had to give was, "Seize her and fuck her." And so Edie is saying, and John's behind the camera. And John says, "Okay, Edie, give me your line." And Edie would go, "Seize her and fuck her." And John goes, "No, Edie, a little louder. Seize her and fuck her." "No, Edie, louder, more female. Seize her and fuck her." He said, "Okay," John said, "keep the camera rolling." And then John stepped to the side and said, "Okay, come on, Edie. Louder. She kept going, "Seize her and fuck her, seize her and fuck her, seize her and fuck her." And that was the day when some parents of some friends of ours had come to the set. And so in come these people, these straight people, and there's Edie going, "Seize her and fuck her, seize her and fuck her." And that was, Edie wasn't that much of an actress, but she certainly had a lot of heart.
Mail for Edith Massey.
Thank you. Have a nice
See you
day.
tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Oh, how nice. All these people writing me these letters. Oh, how nice. Oh, what a beautiful card. I wonder who wrote me this one. How nice. Those beautiful hearts and legs. Everybody. My name is Edith Massey. Some of yous might know me. I play in John Waters films, Multiple Maniac, Pink Flamingo, and the new film, Female Trouble. When I was a teenager, I always wanted to play in the movies. So you might say I am one person who wished upon a star and got her wish. When I was in the orphanage, they taught me how to tap and sing. So now I like to keep in practice tapping, 'cause sometimes I do a live stage act. Well, the orphanage put me out in a foster home to work. And the people were so cruel to me, I couldn't take up my tap dancing no more. And the daughters, they treated me real mean. They had me doing a lot of work so that they could go out and have a good time. So I waited until I saw my chance and I ran away. You could see I was their Cinderella.
Edith, must you always be in the way? Can't you find a better time to do your chores? Look at this mess. Oh, if Daddy could only get us a real maid instead of foster children.
You just have to pay your help these days if you want any respect.
Now, Edith, you remove this mess.
And don't forget to take out the garbage. I nearly collapsed from the odor.
And I'd like a tepid bath when I return for supper.
And Edith, the grocer, will be here shortly. His money is on the side table. Don't think it's for you.
And Edith, do not make any plans for this evening, as I have scads of ironing that must be ready for tomorrow's debutante ball.
Edith, I hope you don't think this is clean. You'll just have to do it over again.
What do you mean not clean? I worked all morning on this goddamn porch so you could go out with a bunch of Prince Charming. So you want your bath now?
Oh, my God, what is wrong? What is wrong with her? Is she ungrateful?
I ran away from the place in Denver where I was working with this family, and I went to L.A. to see this movie star, Don Amici, who I was real crazy about. And I sent him a telegram to see if I could meet him, and I got a telegram back saying that he was out of town. Well, I had seen his picture 52 times, The Life of Stephen Foster, and I cried 52 times. Well, when I went to California, it was so hard to get into the movies, so I would do some odd jobs around town. Then, one day, I got a little shop on the sidewalk. I sold pencils, razor blades, soap, combs, and I dreamt of getting into show business. Then one day, this nice lady came by and said,
Pardon me for asking, hon, but I was wondering, I pass by here often, and don't you get tired of being cooped up in this thing all day?
Well, yes, I do. I came to California to get in the movies.
Oh, you poor thing. This isn't any way to get started. Can't you do anything, like sing or dance?
I can dance a little.
Well, come with me. I can get you a job in the bar where I work. I'm a dancer myself.
You're not kidding, are you?
No, hon. Close this thing up and come with me, and I'll introduce you to my boss right now.
Wonderful. I'll be right with you. Oh,
hurry up, now. Hurry up.
Right with you. All right, hon. Right with you.
Let's go.
Well, when I left with that nice lady, I started to work in honky-tonks, clubs, nightclubs, bars. I sang and I danced, and I would pass the tambourine around because then I would make tips. And then I learned to be a B-girl, and that was the way of my life for many, many, many years. And when as a B-girl, I would go and I would ask people fellas for a drink. I'd say, honey, may I have a drink with you today? And most of them would buy me one. And, I had a few fresh fellas.
Bartender, have a beer. Taps? Yeah.
Sailor.
Hi, honey.
Think I might join you in a drink today?
You might. What are you drinking?
Well, I'll have a shot and a Coke.
Bartender, a shot and a Coke for the young lady. Make it a double.
Thank you, honey.
What'd you say your name was?
Edie.
Well, Edie, that's a nice dress you got on there.
Thank you, baby. I got it from Hustler.
Hustlers? What's that?
Well, that's only a shot. Thank you, honey.
Hey, Edie, let's have this
Happy New Year.
dance, huh? Come
We're
on, you
not
can
allowed.
dance, can't you?
We're not allowed to dance, huh? They don't have a license here. You can ask the bartender.
What kind of a joint is this? You
Well,
can't
they
even
have to
dance?
have an entertainment license.
I got a little tip here for you, Edie. Now let's have that dance.
Well, hon, I gotta go to the ladies' room. When I come back.
Hurry up, I'll be waiting for you.
Okay, hon.
Okay, Edie, I'm waiting. All right.
Yeah, well, you know, 45th Street.
42nd. I used to travel around the country to the different clubs where I would work by freight, if I could get there, and I would hitchhike. Oh, I hope this opens. Oh, come on. Oh, is it cold? Come on. And then I worked in Texas, and I worked in California, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and I worked out of Chicago. I even worked as a 21 girl in Las Vegas. And I don't know, I had a bar of my own in Tishomingo, Oklahoma, and I also worked as a madam outside of Calumet, Illinois for the Syndicate.
Come on, Yolanda, it's been 10
minutes. Get off of me. Move it! Move it! I got a hot date with a rich daddy. No way. Watch who you're pushing. Look, horse face, if you think you're big fat,
dummy,
you
I don't want no
fat
fighting
cheap
here. I
dish
wouldn't
with a
want you
bone
setting
out,
up for the
but you're too
customer.
crazy Italian,
Hey,
you.
Yolanda, get upstairs with him and give me some peace and quiet.
In a minute.
You heard her. Come on, let's go upstairs.
Off.
Hi, Madam Edie.
Hi, Homer.
Looks
Glad
like you
to
got
see
some
you.
good game available.
You know, we always do. Pick your choice.
Oh, I like dark, mysterious women.
Oh, no, honey. I got a bigger fish than you waiting for me out on the street.
What's this?
No, Linda. You ain't going nowhere. You know the house rules.
But I'm off at 11.
Oh, no ifs and buts. Come on, get upstairs. Homer, she'll treat you nice, or she's going to get out in the street and not going to work anywhere. After all this traveling around, I ended up in Tampa, Florida, as a B-girl in this club. Well, anyway, the cops got hot, and for girls soliciting drinks, you know, so I had to find a new place to work. So this girl told me that I could get a job in one of the clubs in Baltimore. So I came to Baltimore, and sure enough, nothing but clubs are here. And I got a job, and I worked about 15 years on the block. Now I have a thrift shop, and I don't work on the block no more. And I have all the kids, they come and they see me, and it was wrote up in the paper about it. Come back.
This is my
You're a thief. Come on in, Dale. I don't know how you're going to get your... Come on. For another few minutes. Oh, come on now.
That's what I told
What,
you.
honey?
You are a motherfucker. You don't call me no motherfucker. That's
What
what I'm
can I
saying.
do?
I beg your pardon. This is a decent establishment.
Who said I was going to rip it off? I was coming in there. I came in.
Chuck, they start looking
If I wanted, I would have took them and walked down the street.
Store detective!
Store detective here.
I'm store detective.
It isn't that.
Go outside. Take it outside.
It's nothing.
Just don't come back. Just don't put your hand on me, man. I ain't put my hand on you.
All right, Ralph. That's nothing to fight over.
Don't push me and
Come
walk.
on, everybody
Just
don't
walk.
fight.
People can't talk. Just walk. Really ain't worth it. No.
said forget it. I said forget it. Even though I had the store, I would work as a barmaid from time to time. So I got this job at Pete's Hotel Bar. Then one night, this tall, skinny fellow with the pencil mustache came in, and he said, "Would you like to be in the movies?" I thought he was kidding. Who, me?
When I first saw her, I couldn't believe my eyes. I just thought she, so incredible looking and so much just personality. I mean, she had, in a year, she had the bar just fully crowded with all young people that were, she ran the bar. It was because she was there that it made it a popular bar. It certainly wasn't the atmosphere. In the first movie, she just played herself. She played the barmaid in Pete's Hotel. If Edie has a vice, it's that she's too nice. I think that's the only thing that's ever gotten Edie in trouble, is people taking advantage of her, because she could never say no to anybody. She's one of the kindest people and really unaffected by it all, I think.
I can tell you those stories.
Okay.
Well, when one time when John Waters, got a little, well, he wasn't really mad, but a little upset, I'll say, with me because I couldn't get my lines right in Pink Flamingo. He said, "Edith, we're going to stay here all day until you get the line right." So when we got done, finally I got done and I got it right, and we were going back to the farmhouse at the location we were at, Devine came up to me and said, "Don't pay any attention to John because he didn't really mean it. He's just a little nervous." But anyway, talking about John, anytime John ever did raise his voice to me when he took me home, he always apologized. And he told me he never meant it. And I really can't say nothing bad about anybody because, I don't know, they don't do nothing bad to me. Nothing really bad that I know of. And they work real nice with me, like as if I was a veteran, and I know I'm not. Got a lot to learn. A whole lot to learn. And I'm trying, and they still stick by me. I don't know, everybody wants me, to think of things to say like, things that have gone wrong or this and that. But actually, since I've been making the movies, nothing goes wrong except where I can't, my lines. I'm the one. I make the mistakes. Nobody else but me. And that's the truth. Well, you know that. I'm the one who makes the mistakes, so what difference